We've been following the whole Bret Hart and Stone Cold challenging him to a match, but before I get to that, I wanted to play a bonus clip, Robert, from WWF Superstars. So this was the night before, the same day as Halloween Havoc, where Hogan fought the Macho Man. So I got a clip from Superstars with Stone Cold and Brian Pillman. So hold up, let me pull this up for you. And we'll do a little watch-along mode. If anyone wants to zoom in the corner, this is the best we could do. We can't play videos full screen here on YouTube, unfortunately. But here we go. Sorry, I gotta take the picture of that Continental Champion off.
Oh no, not Okada.
Special guest right now, a close friend and the 1996 King of the Ring winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So that's the voice of Brian Pillman, Lexus King's father, as you know, Robert. And he's inviting his friend Stone Cold in for an interview because he's been recovering from injury. So it seems Vince McMahon has been giving him, like, you know, segments to host in the ring for interviews just to keep him involved and stuff.
Austin.
Well, this should be a most interesting interview. I know that Austin's got a lot to say about the return of Bret the Hitman Hart. The man that Austin will meet November the 17th in Madison Square Garden.
Jack with the little kids in the audience. But okay, I'm going to skip the ring walk entrances because we want to save some time here. So here we go with the interview, Robert.
Friends a long time. I probably know you better than anybody else. That's why I know how excited you must be with the announcement live on Raw that Bret Hart is going to come out of this semi-retirement and answer your challenge at Survivor Series. It's finally going to be your chance to prove yourself.
I sure as hell saw how excited you were when you jumped out of your chair like some kind of cheerleader. So don't even start talking yet, because I ain't through, son. Then you went out there and you shook his hand. It ain't time to start kissing up to Bret Hart yet, because he ain't yet lived up to the biggest challenge of his life. And shut up. I ain't never had to prove myself to nobody.
Now, Steve, I know how frustrated you are. I know the disappointment you've had throughout your career. It's understandable. You're a little bit hot on me. I got caught up in the moment. I'm very emotional. I was excited that I was going to finally get to see you answer a lifelong dream at Survivor Series in the city that never sleeps, the most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Garden.
And you can listen to me, you little crippled freak.
Hey, come on.
Everybody knows
That's
that
some
at one
heel heat
time
there.
I carried you to a world championship. Everybody knows that one time you rode in my back pocket.
Wow.
Madison Square Garden, Bret Hart, you're going to find out. Bret Hart's going to find out. The whole damn world's going to find out. I will do exactly what I say. I am going to whip his ass.
Well, there you have it. Austin versus the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever was.
Hey, wait a minute. Wow. What a cheap shot by Austin. Didn't want to
How
hear
dare you
that.
call him the best there is, the best there was, there ever, best there ever will be.
Pillman.
That's his name, though, literally.
Assaulted here by Austin.
That's what he says.
Austin stomping away.
Vlad, what do you think? Did Pillman deserve to get attacked there? Was he was he on Bret's side? Was he kind of talking up Bret there too much in front of Stone Cold, or what?
Yeah, I think
Was that innocent, or was he trying to kind of needle Stone Cold there a little bit?
I think he did enough to get attacked. I'll tell you that. He did enough. First, he celebrates when he announces that he's coming back. Then I guess he greeted him or whatever. They didn't show that on the show, and then this interview was the final thing for Stone Cold to go nuts.
Oh, no.
But I do remember this.
God.
Hitting him with his cane for whoever's just listening out there. But
Austin stomped
He grabs his cane and starts beating up. He's already crippled, so Brian Pillman's like out with injury because he was supposedly in a car accident. Yeah, so he was still recovering. So Stone Cold is beating up on a crippled guy here, a guy who can't really walk. He's been walking with a cane. So
I don't care to get out of wrestling if you can't defend yourself. It's the World Wrestling Federation.
Mr. Perfect, by the way, on commentary on Superstars, who just did that swerve on Monday night against Mark Miro. So he's rooting Stone Cold on here. He's in the Jesse Ventura role where he's
Well, this is how they came up with the term, the Pillmanize his leg, or whatever they say now. When people do this all the time, right?
Oh my God, that was Gerald Briscoe thrown out of the ring.
That was a great little, yeah. He flew out of there, bro.
Oh my God. This is the first time someone ever put someone's foot inside the steel chair, and
I'm not sure if it's the first time, but this is where the term comes from, where they say he Pillmanized his leg.
Interesting. All right, so there's some wrestlers coming from the back to stop Stone Cold, and Pillman is writhing in pain, screaming in pain.
He's so intense with Bret Hart.
All right, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. I'm gonna skip to, because here's Stone Cold walking to the back, proud of himself like a badass, huh? He's such an outlaw. He doesn't give a fuck. So they're gonna come back from commercials, Robert, and they're still gonna have to be putting Pillman in the hospital, or in a gurney, or he's like vomiting here. He's so in pain.
As soon as we can, let's take a commercial break. This is won't surprise me if Monsoon now suspends Stone Cold. Let me get some medics out here. Well, I'm no doctor. I hate to speculate, but I would bet money that Pillman's ankle has been rebroken. Thanks to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look at Pillman. We really need to take a break.
All right, back from commercials. This is when they come back from commercials. This is happening on Superstars, on the B show, huh? What do you think of that, Vlad?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get Brian.
Yeah, that's
Tune in at
They
10
should have
a.m.
done this on Raw.
This definitely should have been on a Raw. I agree with that.
Well, they got more stuff better than this coming on Raw, but
They have some good stuff on Raw. Yeah.
That severely injured ankle.
all right. So the refs and the officials are pushing Stone Cold to the back, and he does leave. And I think, let me see, what do I got here? They got to put, what's his name, Brian Pillman in a gurney and take him to the back. All right, so I'm going to play the scene from a little later on the show, Robert, when they're putting Brian Pillman into the ambulance.
Brian Pillman being loaded into the ambulance, obviously.
This is a good
hospital
2-minute clip. 2 minutes, Robert.
You're talking about intense pain. Brian
end the
Pillman
show.
is almost in convulsions. They need to treat him right away.
Well, Pillman's ankle was literally destroyed in a car accident several months ago. He was walking, as you saw, into the ring with the aid of a cane. And whether you like the man or not, you hate to see a career end this way. And let's go to break. As a matter of fact, let's take a break right now, ladies and gentlemen. The ambulance is leaving on its way out the exit.
Listen closely to the car screech right now.
Wait a minute. Wait. Keep it here. Keep it here. Somebody's blocking the exit.
It's Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has blocked the exit in that car.
He's not done yet. Come on.
Austin.
What the hell?
What is he? Austin is blocking the exitway. Well,
all right, well, I gotta describe some of this in case someone's just listening. So Stone Cold stopped the ambulance. He's parked his car in front of it, and he's sticking his head through the back. There's only one guy in there. Why doesn't he grab him, Vlad, and fucking beat that guy up and continue beating up? He's kind of respectful here, really. But let me press play and just see.
Oh yeah. Later on, you would probably do that for sure.
The EMT wants Austin's car keys to move that car.
This guy, an actual grown adult man, shows up and he's like, "Bro, we gotta take this man to the hospital. What are you doing?"
He's asking for his car keys.
Yeah, he needs his keys to move his car.
You want the keys?
Austin threw his car keys. He threw his car keys. We need to have somebody get those keys and move that car.
Hey, two battles later. Come on. Back up. Let the guys do their job.
I mean, the damage has been done. Bret Hart's return has driven Stone Cold Steve Austin absolutely insane here. Come on, that's enough. I mean,
I'm telling you.
boy, Austin,
There's Brian
there should be some
Hebner.
repercussions for this.
I don't think anybody wants a part of Stone Cold.
I'm a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, but I don't agree with this action right here.
I agree. I agree with you.
Even Mr. Perfect is saying, no, this is too far.
Yeah, I'm a Stone Cold fan myself, and being aggressive and everything else, but Pillman is hurt.
They've got the keys, and Austin's car is being moved. Brian Pillman being transported to the hospital. This is, folks, we'll be.
There you go. What'd you guys think of that? Nice. I have a rating. I have a rating for this on my review. I got a 2 thumbs up for this one.
Yeah,
I really like that.
This is a great segment.
All right.
Yeah,
Have you seen that scene, Robert?
I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I didn't really watch Superstars at that time. I don't know, but I don't remember that. Maybe like if I replays it.
Yes, they did replay it the next night on Raw. Obviously, they're like, you're not going to believe what happened last night. So, okay.
Yeah, I remember definitely him attacking Pillman. I just don't think I ever saw the whole stuff with the ambulance, which was also really good. Yeah.
I don't see why he stuck his head in there and he didn't actually grab Pillman. That was a little weird, but okay. It was kind of cool that he was being so disruptive, but he didn't quite go as far as he could have. Do you think he should get suspended? Because as I haven't showed you, and we talked about Mr. Perfect's swerve last week on Mark Miro, Gorilla Monsoon actually suspended Mr. Perfect for that swerve. So should he suspend Stone Cold?
Well, yeah, obviously he didn't apply. If we're going without by that, if that's the.
Yeah, well, Mr. Perfect got suspended from competing in the ring, but I guess he got to do commentary even. So I don't know, but okay, it's all screwed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but no, obviously he should be suspended if it was. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Let's just move on. I'm not even sure what the question is anymore.
All right, well, Monday Night Raw. Let's go on to the main event. So that was a bonus clip from Superstars. So Monday Night Raw, I might gloss over some other storylines, but I'm gonna jump to the Stone Cold Bret Hart stuff on this one as well. So hold on one second. Let me set up the next clip. Sorry about this. All right. So Robert, they did right when the show starts. They do replay it, right?
I probably saw. Yeah, I must have seen this.
Steve Austin into
The black and white
a
replay.
rage. Imagine this is what Stone Cold did to his alleged best friend Brian Pillman. Yeah, that's right. And if this is how Austin treats his friends, imagine what he'll do to Bret Hart at Survivor Series. And there's Bret. Yes, the Hitman joining us live from his living room in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and also live from the WWF studios in Stamford, Connecticut. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And when he talks, everybody listens. And ladies and gentlemen, in action, the World Wrestling Federation champion, Shawn Michaels.
All right, who cares about Shawn Michaels? All right, so we're here for the Stone Cold and Bret stuff. I'll gloss over what happened with Shawn Michaels later, just to tell you what happened. But this night is all about Stone Cold and Bret, which is, dude, Vlad, for everything that we talk about WCW and how great they were, this stands up. This is competition. Stone Cold and Bret, they got it going on this episode. All right, so I'll jump to a little later in the show. So Alfred Hayes is there trying to announce matches for Survivor Series. So he's doing like a read-through, and Stone Cold is going to interrupt him and just jump into this segment.
I'm real pumped about Survivor Series. First of all, the whole Survivor Series weekend. It kicks off Saturday night, November 16th at the beautiful Marriott Marquis with the Hall of Fame banquet. 8 new members will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
We already got a problem here, man, because nobody cares about 8 old farts getting a trophy handed to them. And don't you dare sit there like a jackass with a pair of blinders on and ignore Stone Cold. You get me on the camera and do your damn job.
All right, Doc, go ahead. All right, let's talk about the Survivor Series card as we know it now, Madison Square Garden, November 17th. First of all, you will...
Yeah, dude, what are these guys thinking going along with their show? Don't they know what's important? They're going to get Stone Cold on the air. All right.
It sounds as demented as Steve Austin.
Well, he's right. Haven't you been watching this show with me, dude? This whole series we've been doing post SummerSlam has been garbage until they're letting Stone Cold talk. That's probably why they didn't suspend him, because they need his ass on the show. Anyways.
And that's kind of what he said. He says that.
Yeah.
So
he says that later on.
Here's the end of Alfred Hayes' read-through, and Stone Cold comes back in.
Hoisted high above Madison Square Garden, inside of a steel cage, and of course you will see the 1996 King of the Ring Award winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, meet the excellence of execution. We have already seen Stone Cold live here in the studio. We know that Brett is live at home in Calgary. What
At home? He's live at home in Calgary.
Well, because that's where they
What the hell do you mean he's in Calgary? You flew me all the way from Texas here.
I didn't do it.
Just things like this that's going to get someone's ass kicked, Doc. That's the bottom line. And the bottom line to Bret Hart is at Madison Square Garden, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to whip your ass.
Sorry, Doc, for the interruption. Nonetheless, all that and more will happen.
Doc Hendricks, I guess they call him here, not Lord Alfred Hayes, right?
Lord Alfred Hayes is somebody else.
Oh, my bad. Okay. He does look like him.
Slightly. Yeah, that's kind of funny, but yeah, no.
Okay, my bad. Doc Hendricks, excuse me. I will change that on my review sheet.
Extraordinary athletes and live.
Later on, Robert.
There he is, the Hitman Bret Hart, scheduled to join us, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Bret just playing
makeup. Anything can happen here in the world.
Oh, man.
That was awesome. That was a perfect segment, dude. That was like the perfect dichotomy.
Oh, yes.
Brett just sitting there like petting his cat, and Stone Cold like fucking scaring away the makeup lady. Oh my God, so good. So good.
Anything can happen here in the world. We won't see Mr. Perfect in the ring anytime soon, but we will see Stone Cold Steve Austin, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and there he is, live in our WWF studios. Mr. Austin, can you hear us?
Yeah, stop jerking me around, bitch. You bring me on the air, and then you don't want to give me no airtime.
You're going to get airtime.
What are you cutting me off for? This is a rib, right? You're kidding me, right?
Stone Cold is trying to freaking do business here, and these guys are trying to do their ridiculous show, you know? Anyways, moving along. Here's an interesting thing. Brian Pillman from his home next week.
I remember this.
Everybody remembers this.
I think this is.
I can't believe we're going on hiatus right at this point, right? When shit is getting good, actually.
Actually, that's true. Things are getting good, but this is not really one of those moments. But yes, this is a moment everybody still talks about.
Satellite, just we have Bret Hart live from Calgary next week, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us, the injured Brian Pillman, live from his home in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Whoa!
Joining us now.
Live from his home. What do you mean you're going to go live from his home? You go to Brett's house, you go to Brian's house. Well, why didn't you go to Victoria, Texas, and come to my house?
Well, Mr. Austin, you are.
No, shut up. If anybody's going to Brian's house next week, well, you can damn well bet that Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be there, because if you're going to have a party with some crippled freak, you can bet I'll be there, and that's the bottom line.
Don't you think you've done enough to Brian Pillman?
What do you mean done enough? What do you mean done enough?
Let's take you back. All right, let's show you the footage that happened. WWF Superstars just yesterday. Here we go. Now let's listen.
Okay, so we did watch this, so I'm going to skip forward.
Went out in the emergency vehicle. You stopped the progress of the emergency vehicle with that car. You wouldn't let him go. You wouldn't let him take him to the hospital.
Well, that's because if they were going to take him anywhere, they should have carried his ass to the cemetery, because if he comes back...
Damn, dude.
Are you telling me you're going to go to Pillman's house? You live at Pillman's house?
Hey, when you get jerked around as long as I have, and when the WWF starts jerking you around, you got to do what you got to do.
Is that
and
right?
Brian Pillman's going to get a house call.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a man would do that to his best friend? What kind of a creep are you?
See, here's the thing. Brian Pillman forgot.
DTA, brother. Don't trust anybody. Right. You thought I was your friend. You were the biggest pup in the world, and I had the strings, and there you were.
He was a crippled man.
That's right. He's still a crippled man, and he's got that stupid, raspy voice with 33 third operation. Who really gives a rat's ass about all that? It's Stone Cold's time. Shut up.
Why hasn't Gorilla Monsoon taken action against you?
Why do you keep asking me stupid questions? Because you know, Vince, the Gorilla Monsoon is just a puppet. That's all. You know you're the one that's pulling all the strings here. You're the boss. Why don't you do something to me?
Because something...
No, shut up. I'll tell you why. Because you're a greedy, selfish promoter, and you know Stone Cold and Bret Hart are going to get it on in the biggest match of the decade, and you don't want to miss out. You're going to fill your back pocket full, son. But listen to this. I would have a lot of money for this match, but I'd just as soon kick his ass for free.
All right. In any event, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, I got to pause that.
Dude,
I mean, unbelievable. Yes, he is such an amazing talent.
I marked this as the beginning of the Stone Cold Vince McMahon feud. Subplot.
Potential. Well, not yet.
Agree, because you're a greedy, selfish promoter. You're just trying to make money. You're gonna make a lot of money off me, dude. This is the beginning. I would put this as literally the first scene in the Vince Stone Cold feud.
Potentially, you could, but I don't think I would say this is where it started.
I mean, you could
say this is the origin.
You could say that the seed was planted here, but like I don't know I wouldn't really count it as the beginning until I think the first stunner that he gave Vince. I can't remember which
he's mistreating his boss, bro. He's treating his boss like shit. He doesn't respect him at all. This is like, you know, and obviously Vince is not suspending him because he needs his ass for business, because WCW is kicking their ass, and this is the only hope they've got, and they're sending him out there and they're giving him the ball. So
and he's not only running with it, he's destroyed. He's killing it out there. Been tremendous. He's been tremendous. Everything that you've showed so far, he's been tremendous.
All right, I got the face-to-face, Robert. It's 5 minutes, Bret Hart and Stone Cold. So after that, we just got a 2-minute clip to close the show, and that's it for the videos we got.
Big from the mark. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Gentlemen, we thank
this is fucking great, by the way. I love this.
you so much for your patience.
Right.
And Bret, let's get the first question, if you don't mind, to you. Some say that the reason you took so long in making up your mind to come back to action here in the World Wrestling Federation, well, there are a number of reasons, but principal among them is that you knew that Steve Austin was the man who has challenged you. And my question is, whether or not, is that one of the reasons why you were reticent to make up your mind?
No, not at all. I think what you're looking at 12 years, and if you really want to add on even more years than that, you can, because I've grown up with wrestling my whole life, and you're looking at 12 years without any kind of a break of being physically mauled by giants and great wrestlers for years and years and years, and it just took its toll.
Yep.
And I'll be the first one to say that Steve Austin, Stone Cold, is a great wrestler, and I knew immediately upon seeing him that I was going to be dealing with a very, very tough wrestler. But as far as, he had nothing to do with my decision to step back from wrestling.
Basically, loosely translated, you're saying, yes, Vince, I'm afraid Stone Cold is going to kick my ass. That's what you're saying.
That's not what you're saying, is it, Bret?
Yeah, somehow you need to clean that up a bit.
Yeah, I think
as far as you kicking my ass.
There you go.
You maybe should think twice about that. I don't know if you got what it takes to kick my ass. I've actually recuperated. I've been off. I'm ready for this match.
But Bret, if I may,
I'm better than I've ever been.
Sure.
If I can ask you this, what about the fact that you have not been in the ring for some 6 months, and there must be some ring rust? Would it not have been more wise for you to accept a match with a lesser individual rather than Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Right. Answer.
You know, I don't see it that way. I mean, sure, there might be a little ring rust. Maybe there won't be. No one's going to know till I get in the ring how good or bad the 5 months off has affected my wrestling style. But I don't really care. I want to go in and I want to accomplish a lot of things in the World Wrestling Federation starting right now. And what better way to do it than take on Stone Cold, who I think, and I said it before on my live interview, and I'll say it again right now, is the best wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation until November 17th.
But if Steve Austin defeats you, I mean, obviously this man has great confidence in himself. He would not have challenged you. He's trying to make a name for himself. This is like a gunslinger type situation where indeed you've got a reputation. He wants to live off of your reputation, and if he defeats you in Madison Square Garden, the question is then, will you continue your comeback here in the WWF?
Well, I mean, that's a very likely possibility, and you know what, I've thought about that, and I'm willing to accept whatever happens in that match, you know, and if I come up short, then I'm just going to get right back up on my horse like a gunfighter and, you know,
well, see, here's the deal. Shut up. Here's the deal. Win, lose, draw, Brett. It ain't over. It ain't over. You're never going to get through with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're going to have to kill me first, son, and that's the bottom line, and it's the truth. Win, lose, or draw, right. I will always be on your ass.
Well, that's why I'm the excellence of execution.
Yeah, whatever.
You wear a hood while you get assassinated.
I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, and I'm the best there ever will be, and you're going to find that out firsthand, son. Say something.
You know, everyone thinks that because I'm coming back that I have this built-up impression in my head that I'm going to clean up the WWF. I know better than anyone else that it's going to be a real hard job. And,
Brett, we thank you so much for joining us.
It's Austin's house now.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Brett the Hitman Hart.
No. You can tell him to go kiss off, but I've been here all night, and I ain't leaving yet, and you can stop counting me down, because I done told you once, son. We got a damn problem.
Hey, wait a minute.
No more. That ain't gonna work.
There's a production assistant.
No, we're through that by a long shot. You don't count me down.
What is that?
Nobody counts me down. You want your precious minors? You think it's all fun and games for Stone Cold? It ain't. It ain't fun and games.
Oh, man.
What the hell, man? Bret Hart was so cerebral. Like he would just let like Stone Cold talk and talk shit and be disrespectful, and he just wouldn't care. Like he's just so experienced. I love how he handled himself here. That's how everyone should handle themselves all the time when people are being fucking like low life, disrespectful pricks around them. Like, what a class act. I'll say that.
Easier said than done. That's for sure.
I know.
Both guys played their parts perfectly. Like Brett as the ultimate guy, and Steve Austin is just the guy that's gotten absolutely nuts, nuts heel. But yeah, it was good. It was a very good segment. Very, very strong.
Yes. And Stone Cold saying, "You'll never be done with me. Like, I don't care about this match. Like, this is going to be a war, son."
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yes, their feud, it was one of my favorites. Hopefully we get back to it when we come back from our hiatus. But
all right, so, Robert, later on what happens is there's a match, the main event. It's Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog. But forget that. Listen to what the commentators have to say about, because Stone Cold attacked that production guy afterwards.
Right.
I don't know if...
All over Shawn Michaels. And we'll take a look at this double feature. And by the way, again, ladies and gentlemen, we can confirm now that the police have indeed been called. That security guard has called the police on Stone Cold Steve Austin, who apparently is still raising hell. And look at this. Michaels is in trouble. Stay with us as Ron continues.
That's pretty good. This is good shit going up against WCW, man. Someone called the police on Stone Cold. All right, so the main event is over, Robert, and we got like 1 minute left on the show. Here it is.
Okay. Just to get his hands on Bret Hart. And again, we are live. And that same security guard.
You can't do nothing to Stone Cold because Vince McMahon won't let nothing happen to me.
What?
You got to understand I'm a star.
He thinks he can do it. Do you see the police? Well, I'll tell you, this man is going to be in trouble. They're going to take him away in handcuffs.
What do you guys want?
Stone, we'll see you 1 hour earlier.
Calm down.
Next week, 7:57.
You need to calm down, Mr. Stone Cold.
Mr. Stone Cold, calm yourself.
All right. So this is how I reviewed this storyline here on my Raw review. I got the Stone Cold satellite face-off with Bret Hart ends with Stone Cold assaulting production crew and law enforcement being called in. That's how I summarized this storyline here today. I got the subplots, as I call them: Stone Cold attacking Pillman, and then Stone Cold arguing with Vince, and then obviously the interview with Bret, and then him getting out of control and getting arrested. For all that, I gave 5 points on my rating system. Fire! That was awesome. That's as good as it gets, man. That's as good as it gets. All right, let's hear some comments from y'all. Vlad, Robert, who wants to make comments on this amazing classic footage of Stone Cold and Bret Hart and everything that we just saw?
That segment when Stone Cold was arguing with Vince McMahon, that right there I would rate that as fire. That was incredible.
Okay. Right.
Him and Bret Hart, that was really good too. I don't know if I'd give that a fire, but that was really good. Maybe I'll give that a loved it rating. So yeah, I mean, this is all around really, really good. The stuff where he attacked the production assistant. I mean, yeah, that was crazy, but I know what happens in Brian Pillman's house, and that's what happens in this scene is not compared to what happens later.
Yeah,
It does not compare.
Yeah, that's true. That whole thing is going to be insane. But this was amazing. All of this was fantastic. I'm glad they've kind of allowed Steve Austin to be Steve Austin. I mean, he is an amazing talent that was wasted for many years. I think every time he keeps saying that he was being jerked around and all that stuff, all that stuff is true. All that stuff is true, and he was wasted the first couple of years in WWF with the stupid gimmick. And now that he's allowed to kind of be his chaotic self, he's amazing. Obviously, he's easily, and his facials are incredible, like as well. You know, I talked about Paul Heyman's facials, but here when he was listening to Bret, his eyes were like locked in, and then some of the stuff that he was doing was hilarious as well. Yeah, the back and forth with Vince and the stuff with Bret, all tremendous. Yeah, I mean, this was, if I had to rate it, I think I would have to say it was a fire segment.
Cool. All right, well, that'll conclude our SummerSlam post-1996 reviews. I have the rest of the storylines from Raw. Nothing really much, Robert. I mean, the real Double J was there. The Road Dogg, Jesse James, he had a win, which I didn't really care for. I mean, I could run through the rest of it just real quick. Oh, the SummerSlam Survivor Series teams got announced. No real build up to it. They just announced some heels and some faces. Yeah, The Rock is over here with Mark Henry and Mark Miro and the Stalker.
That's his debut.
Is it?
Yeah, it's his debut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, there was no build up to this either. They just chose some heels and they chose some faces. So I don't know. Didn't like
how is the guy named the Stalker a face?
I have no clue. That's a dumb Survivor Series match. Like, we will not review that. I don't care.
Yeah.
What else? Undertaker and Mankind, during that Doc Hendricks announcements, they just announced another match for them at Survivor Series. They're going to have a match with Paul Bearer hung above the ring, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, I kind of vaguely remember this. Mm-hmm.
What else? Crush, who, again, he got offended at another fan, and he got in a fight with the fan in security again, because the fans keep calling him Jailbird and stuff like that. So that's another thing they're doing. With Bryan Adams, they've continued that. Mark Miro, who was Swerve last week, he was on the phone this time, and he vowed revenge on Triple H and Mr. Perfect, but nothing really much there in depth. Farouk is going to file a lawsuit on Ahmed Johnson for attacking him, and he's got Clarence Mason as his lawyer now. So I guess they announced that.
Lawsuit.
Yeah.
Who is he really, Drake?
Well, that's also what Vince McMahon said about Crush when he attacked the security guard. He was like, "There's going to be a lawsuit." And then Stone Cold 2 attacked another production crew. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits stemming from this episode. What else? Billy Gunn broke up with Bart Gunn because he's trying to get with Sonny. That finally happened on this episode, but I'm glossing over it. I don't really care for it to really talk about it. The main event was Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog. Good match, great workers.
Yeah.
And then Sid also once again had to come in and save him from a beatdown. And then for some reason, Owen Hart challenged Sid and Shawn Michaels to a tag team title match. He offered to defend his tag team titles against Sid and Shawn Michaels, which I didn't really get that. But okay, that's how the show ended, and those were all the storylines. From that day, I think because of the Stone Cold and Bret Hart stuff, that really puts them almost on par with me to WCW. WCW is still better overall. Like, the overall show is still way, way better. But at least they got something here that's like A-level. So, and that's the first time I've really seen that so far since we've been covering the WWF in 1996. So this is a turning point, and it's funny that it landed on the last episode of our show here.
Agreed.
So, all right, Robert, Vlad, thank you for being here. It is late. I think we got to go to sleep. We got one more episode to do. So we're going to watch WrestleMania next week at my house, and then
real quick before we go, I just
WrestleMania review.
Braun Breaker's spear has to be mentioned as something that just before we go.
Oh yeah,
honorable mention. Honorable mention.
That was a very crazy looking spear.
That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life.
Because he did like a front flip after that or something, like in midair or after.
I mean, it looked literally like it was a rocket.
Yeah.
That was launched into Fort Carlito.
Did you see Carlito's tweet?
Yes, that he was dead, right?
Later on, he's inviting everyone to his funeral service and stuff.
That's not cool.
I know.
Oh,
well, we'll see. Carlito might have some involvement at WrestleMania somehow. He could take a big bump from somebody. Maybe they'll do it again. But